meet with the public and discuss ways to adjust and adapt or live with these animals or not moving forward. We spoke about dogs, horses.
No, I've heard in the papers and I've read as well about the recent coyote problems that are occurring down in your area, and I think it's actually everywhere. I live on a farm as well, and we've seen them out in our back fields. We don't have any plans for that, but I think that could be something that we could think about and take into consideration. Obviously for raccoons, I think that a lot of people probably around this table receive a lot of calls about raccoons, and we partner with Norfolk County and Animal Control so that if you do spot something like that, that would be someone that we would contact as Animal Control Services. But you could always call the health unit and we will point you in the right direction of who it is you need to contact.
That's everything. Thank you.
Thank you.
Member Huffman, then Member Taylor, and Member Columbus.
Thank you. I just have a couple quick questions. A great kind of synopsis of how, a typical family accesses these services. My questions are in regards to how the families typically find out about these services. What would be the primary way that this information is received by citizens?
So through the board chair to board member Huffman, there's many venues to find out the information. We have a very active website with some social media aspects of it as well, and all of our services are actually showcased on the website. We do a significant amount of media coverage, and we put out media releases. We have a significant amount of pamphlets at all of our sites, and clearly, obviously, word of mouth. So at any time you can reach out to us and we'd be happy to provide and inform people of what those services are.
Okay, because part of the reason that when I'm looking at the services that this lovely family accessed, pretty much all of these services require transportation. So that is of great concern to me that in Norfolk County and Haldimand County, there isn't a public transit system. And I do notice that a lot of times, and I think we've spoken about this at council in regards to some other services, is that they tend to be, obviously, and it makes sense, for many reasons, that a lot of these services are held in the highly populated areas, whereas the outreach would be to more of the less serviced areas of the county. Those are my concerns. And the other, I have two quick questions. Is there currently a wait list for the PSLP?
Through the board chair, yes, there is.
Okay. Do you know the approximate wait list of that, Marlene? Sorry to...
I believe it's in the hundreds, but I'll confer with Mr. Shaw. He may actually know the number. The speech language?
Yeah, there is a wait list.
Do you know the number? No. So we can get that for you. It is in the hundreds. I will say that the speech is one of the programs that is actually not mandated by public health, but is embedded in the public health programs.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it goes really well with that. I mean, in terms of the early learning and best practices. The other one is that I noticed that we have the piece in terms of the sexual health aspect through the high schools, and there was mention of finding cannabis, I believe, in Jacob's pocket, and there was kind of a mention to that. There was a mention in terms of the statistics that the alcohol use in the county in Haldimand, Norfolk is increasing, but I didn't necessarily notice, and there was the smoking cessation, not too much in terms of the alcohol piece. Is there a component that is available in terms of that?
So through the board chair, staff have brought a report forward on alcohol and the low drinking guidelines previously in 2018, and staff are currently working on a comprehensive plan with part of the drug strategy to bring that forward to council.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
Member Taylor.
Thank you. Through
Yeah.
the chair, are parents of homeschooled children contacted to take advantage of the programs that are offered at the public schools?
Through the board chair, I don't believe specifically that we contact. We wouldn't necessarily know who they are that are being homeschooled versus going to the schools. So we don't specifically reach out to them. They would be privy to any of the services. They just have to reach out to us.
Thank you.
Member Columbus.
Thank you, Madam Chair. To Marlene, can we get a copy of the slide deck that was shown?
Absolutely.
Okay. And rabies. If somebody calls up and they say they figure there's a rabid skunk, got hit by a car, what's the process? I've had that happen. I take it you don't want us to bring it to the office, right? Because I've asked that question.
Yeah. I'm going to ask Ms. Pongrantz to speak to that specifically.
So through the board chair to the member, we deal with any types of cases that are human to animal. So in this case, your scenario that you provided, this was a skunk that was hit on the road. So it would probably be best, I'm thinking, to call the municipality and give them a call, and maybe somebody can come out and dispose of the animal. If the animal was, say, a raccoon and it was acting strange, which right now I know that, you know, because of the weird weather that we've had lately, there's raccoons out and about. We always advise people just to stay away from them, don't touch them. They're probably confused by the fact that, you know, there's been such a fluctuation in temperature because they actually should be hibernating and resting. But if there is human contact with the animal, then that's when we would get involved. Hillside Kennels is one of our animal control services that would provide some assistance with picking up the raccoon.
Yeah, I didn't realize that they actually do that. I thought they just looked after dogs. But, okay.
They do provide some
Do
assistance
they?
with that.
Okay, thanks. My second question, Madam Chair, is you mentioned the nourishment program. I take it that's in schools, and I've heard that a lot of children come with real sparse lunches. Do you know anything about that? Any comment on generalities with respect to sparse lunches?
Yeah, currently we are working with schools and with childcare settings to develop their healthy menus. Right? But we are not working within schools. Like we are only advising them on some kinds of healthy eating, but not directly with the children and their babies. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else? I just have a couple questions. For myself at the orientation, this has been fantastic information. I was also hoping to see some material kind of in relation to the org chart and so on for the health department. I'm wondering if kind of some background as well in terms of how the calculation is made for the split between Haldeman and Norfolk. What factors go into that? When was the last time we reviewed that split, whether it's still appropriate today? So just, you know, I know you might not have that information with you today, Marlene, but if we could have some more of that type of background brought forward to the operating budget discussions, just as a heads up, that would be fantastic.
So thank you for that question, and we will bring more forward. It really is an arbitration agreement, and so those cost sharing were determined by that. As I spoke to earlier, they were originally on population statistics, and now they're on households. And we do meet the finance team. I need to give them the credit for that with Haldeman staff, and we are reconciling that, and we do look at it on an annual basis and determine whether those cost shares are being equitably distributed between the two counties. And our finance team can speak to that more, and we'll bring that forward. On Thursday at our advisory committee, within the package, because we do have a very new advisory committee, we actually have some further detail on the arbitration agreements and the cost sharing between Haldeman, not just for public health, but also for the social services and housing departments that serve both counties as well.
Okay, thanks. And one other question with that as well would be in terms of positions that are funded by the province, even those that are fully funded by the province, I would be interested in the calculations, nothing is free. And so what additional costs go into that employee from office space, anything you can think of. So again, if that could form part of the discussions with the operating budget, that would be helpful.
Yeah, thank you. So some of the costs, and we can provide more detail, that are part of interdepartmental costs, are the office space, are the technology, the human resource supports, would be benefits, obviously, that all employees would be privy to. And those are some of the type of costs that also go into each of the positions within all of our departments.
Perfect, thanks. I saw Member Huffman, my apologies.
I just wanted to respond to Member Columbus's question regarding the sparse lunches. That program would be the through Haldeman Norfolk Reach. That's the Child Nutrition Health Network, the Healthy Snacks program. They deal with that piece. So.
Any further questions? Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
So now that we have completed the orientation, I would like to look to the members to see if they have any other business related to health at this time. Okay. Seeing none, I have a bylaw before me, motion that bylaw 19-01, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of this Board of Health meeting held on January 15th, 2019, be passed, signed by the chair and clerk and affixed with the corporate seal. That was moved by Member Geisens and seconded by Member Rabbits. Any discussion? All in favor? And that's carried. And I have a motion moved by Member Rabbits and seconded by Member Columbus that the Board of Health adjourn this meeting at 3:09 p.m. All in favor? And carried. Thank you. We'll take a short, maybe a 15-minute break, and then we'll come back for the start of our council meeting.
Yep.
On a strip of sandy soil lies a county called Norfolk. It's Ontario, south coast, and it's surely not remote. If you pass through or spend a day or decide to call it home, you'll see why we love it here and are proud to call it our own. Norfolk, Norfolk, a southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger long. Take in the small town atmosphere, be amazed at all that we grow. Like our kids that go and see the world and can't wait to return home. Drop a line in a placid lake or stroll along the shore. Take a tour on a peaceful country road and bound to be back for more. Of Norfolk, Norfolk, my southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger long. With hard work we built a dream that only willing hands could do. It's on display at our fall fairs and at all the festivals too. Erie beaches, Carolinian forests, where the flower and dogwoods bloom. Patchwork fields and rolling hills, it's just the place for you. No strip of sandy soil lies a county called Norfolk. It's Ontario, south coast, you know, and it's surely not remote. If you pass through or spend a day or decide to call it home, you'll see why we love it here and are proud to call it our own. Norfolk, Norfolk, a southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger long. Take in the small town atmosphere, be amazed at all that we grow. Like our kids that go and see the world and can't wait to return home. Drop a line in a placid lake or stroll along the shore. Take a tour on a peaceful country road and bound to be back for more. Of Norfolk, Norfolk, my southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger long. With hard work, we built a dream that only willing hands could do. It's on display at our fall fairs and at all the festivals too. Erie beaches, Carolinian forests, where the flower and dogwoods bloom. Patchwork fields and rolling hills, it's just a place for you. Norfolk, Norfolk, a southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger long. Norfolk, 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 you won't be a stranger long. On a strip of sandy soil lies a county called Norfolk. It's Ontario, south coast, you know, and it's surely not remote. If you pass through or spend a day or decide to call it home, you'll see why we love it here and are proud to call it our own. Norfolk, Norfolk, a southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger long. Take in the small town atmosphere, be amazed at all that we grow. Like our kids that go and see the world and can't wait to return home. Drop a line in a placid lake or stroll along the shore. Take a tour on a peaceful country road and bound to be back for more. Of North, on a strip of sandy soil lies a county called Norfolk. It's on
What I love most about Norfolk County, I think, would be the vastness of the county, how it's big and there's breathing space, and there are so many little pockets of beauty, natural beauty.
I love the seasons here. The springtime, the rain falling on the earth. I'm a farmer, so I enjoy those aspects of it, the smell of the rain. The summer times, we have beautiful, warm summers here.
You have such pristine water here. You have some of the finest cold water streams in Ontario with Big Creek and Youngs Creek and others that produce great fishing.
Norfolk is very heavily forested, beautiful color in the autumn. The sun shines very brightly here in the wintertime, so I love the 4 distinct seasons we have here in Norfolk County.
What people find remarkable about Norfolk County, I think, is that our sense of community and us working together.
I think of us as a little bit of, we have these ecospheres in our store. They're these self-sustaining little balls that, completely take care of themselves. We're a little bit like that, in our area. We have so much here.
My kids grow up knowing what it's like to produce a piece of fruit or produce some food, some vegetables, and put them on the table, how much effort that takes. And I think that's important.
When people come into the shop, we pull out the map and we show them the wineries and the breweries, and we tell them about the local dining in town, and we'll tell them about the lavender farm, and along the way show them produce stands that they could stop to pick up some goodies.
Everything that we want to do socially and all of our extracurricular activities are right here. And when you join groups, these people they'll want to get to know you immediately. That's our nature. We're curious and we're supportive and we're interested.
Sometimes opportunity just kind of happens when you're talking to someone and having a conversation with someone here in Norfolk. The next thing you know, you're collaborating with them on a project or activity.
The amount of people within our community that support our business is outstanding, because it's a give and take relationship. If you support everyone else, they will support you, and it makes our community that much stronger and that much better.
I think that working with the local businesses here, everyone's very welcoming. Every time I meet a new business owner, and I love to go to new stores and new restaurants that open up and introduce ourselves and welcome them to the community. It's easy to fall in love with Norfolk County.
My advice to a family that's thinking about moving here is to come and visit. Come and spend a week. Come and experience everything that we have to offer, because you're going to find an amazing quality of life.
You're 10 minutes away from a beach. You're 5 minutes away from a dog park. There's so much opportunity in an area like this for young entrepreneurs, young families, even, senior entrepreneurs that are doing that as well.
I'm very happy. I'm lucky, very lucky I can be here, It's a good place to raise a family too.
We don't have this sort of slick veneer over us. We're really comfortable in our own skin, and artists are making art because they love to make art, and musicians are writing songs because they love to write songs.
And just because you're not from here doesn't mean that you can't embrace what makes Norfolk great. Sort of our diversity, the wonderful landscapes here.
And it's just a great area. You're going to meet great people. You're going to have a supportive environment. We can compete on an international stage with anybody. And that's how we have to start looking at the world.
All right. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's all right. I forgot how much I love Aero bars.
I had a lot of clicks on it to start with.
No, it had like 100,000 clicks
Yeah.
on it.
Oh, that's not bad.
And
Yeah,
I
that
assume
makes
that
sense.
means it has about 300,000 on the end because it sits there idle so much.
Yeah.
Drivers work, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's a selling feature or a buying consideration that a lot of people don't think about. Any, but like cop cars, I bet you the idling time is 3 times the mileage. Easy.
The only good thing about them, they get washed every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
The engine's whipped, but the body's good.
Yeah.
student, so is that what was a good fit for you?
Hey, you know what?
I think that, and also this was one of the big things of the campaign.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. And just so you understand, because like I wouldn't directly necessarily click on it because I have to be, this is to make me happy.
Yeah.
So,
I noted that I should nominate you to go on there.
okay, thanks.
My shopping bag.
On a strip of sandy soil lies a county called Norfolk. It's Ontario, south coast, you know, and it's surely not remote. If you pass through or spend a day or decide to call it home, you'll see why we love it here and are proud to call it our own. Norfolk, Norfolk, a southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger long. Take in the small town atmosphere, be amazed at all that we grow. Like our kids that go and see the world and can't wait to return home. Drop a line in a placid lake or stroll along the shore. Take a tour on a peaceful country road and bound to be back for more. Of Norfolk, Norfolk, my southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger long. With hard work we built a dream that only willing hands could do. It's on display at our fall fairs and at all the festivals too. Erie beaches, Carolinian forests, where the flower and dogwoods bloom. Patchwork fields and rolling hills, it's just the place for you. Norfolk, Norfolk, a southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger along. Norfolk, 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 you won't be a stranger along. On a strip of sandy soil lies a county called Norfolk. It's Ontario, south coast, you know, and it's surely not remote. If you pass through or spend a day or decide to call it home, you'll see why we love it here and are proud to call it our own. Norfolk, Norfolk, a southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger along. Take in the small town atmosphere, be amazed at all that we grow. Like our kids that go and see the world and can't wait to return home. Drop a line in a placid lake or stroll along the shore. Take a tour on a peaceful country road and bound to be back for more. Of Norfolk, Norfolk, my southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger along. With hard work, we built a dream that only willing hands could do. It's on display at our fall fairs and at all the festivals too. Erie beaches, Carolinian forests, where the flower and dogwoods bloom. Patchwork fields and rolling hills, it's just the place for you. Norfolk, Norfolk, a southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger along. Norfolk, 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 you won't be a stranger along. On a strip of sandy soil lies a county called Norfolk. It's Ontario, south coast, you know, and it's surely not remote. If you pass through or spend a day or decide to call it home, you'll see why we love it here and are proud to call it our own. Norfolk, Norfolk, a southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger along. Take in the small town atmosphere, be amazed at all that we grow. Like our kids that go and see the world and can't wait to return home. Drop a line in a placid lake or stroll along the shore. Take a tour on a peaceful country road. You're bound to be back for more. Of Norfolk, on a strip of sandy soil, lies a county called Norfolk. It's Ontario's south coast, you know, and it's surely not remote. If you pass through or spend a day or decide to call it home, you'll see why we love it here and are proud to call it our own. Norfolk, Norfolk, a southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger long. Take in the small town atmosphere, be amazed at all that we grow. Like our kids that go and see the world and can't wait to return home. Drop a line in a placid lake or stroll along the shore. Take a tour on a peaceful country road. You're bound to be back for more. Of Norfolk, Norfolk, my southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger long. With hard work we built a dream that only willing hands could do. It's on display at our fall fairs and at all the festivals too. Erie beaches, Carolinian forests, where the flower and dogwoods bloom. Patchwork fields and rolling hills, it's just the place for you. Norfolk, Norfolk, a southern county home. Norfolk, Norfolk, we know you can't go wrong with the friendly folk of Norfolk. You won't be a stranger long. Norfolk.
I call to order this council meeting. Just before we begin, I just wanted to say that I've had a discussion with Councillor Columbus, and I know there's some concerns with how we've been moving, myself relinquishing the chair's position. Just so that everybody's aware, that wasn't actually a suggestion of mine. This came from the clerk during orientation, as was a new procedure that was taking place in other regions. However, I understand that there is some confusion going on. Perhaps it's not being done as clearly. So we are going to continue with the process as we have been doing it this evening, and we can have some further discussion and decide how we want to move forward with that in the future. But for tonight, we'll just do it as is, and then we'll talk about it again. If that's okay with you, Councillor Columbus. Okay, so first, the agenda is before you. Are there any changes to the agenda or additions? At this point, I apologize, I am going to relinquish the chair to Councillor Martin. I do have two additions that I would like to make. I would like to move a motion that the following 2 closed session items be added to the council agenda as item 7, with the remainder of the council agenda to be renumbered accordingly. Item A, correction of closed session minutes from January the 8th, 2019, item 7 Delta, which was a labor relations matter. Pursuant to sections 239-2, Bravo, Delta, Echo, and Foxtrot of the Municipal Act 2001, as the subject matter pertains to personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, labor relations or employee negotiations, litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals necessary for that purpose, and advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose. Item B is verbal regarding an employee-related matter. Pursuant to sections 239-2 Bravo of the Municipal Act 2001, as the subject matter pertains to personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, and that the clerk be present for the closed session meeting. My apologies. Originally, I was going to ask that the deputy clerk be present, but the clerk will be present with us for the closed session. So I would like to move that motion.
We're looking for a seconder. Councillor Rabbits. And further discussion. And put it to a vote. Those in favor? And those opposed? Motion's carried.
Okay.
Councillor Van Passen.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Mayor. I'd like to make note of the fact that our mayor's training as a pilot shows up when you start talking about Alpha Bravo, Charlie Delta, Echo, Foxtrot.
Sorry. All right, I will take the chair back from you, Councillor Martin. I would like to ask at this time if there's any declarations of pecuniary interest. Seeing none, we have 3 items of communications, and we will go through them one at a time. The first is from Peter Hellier, Chair of the Police Services Board, regarding speed awareness signs recommendation. There is a staff recommendation for the consideration of council. To my knowledge, Mr. Hellier is not here to speak, correct? Okay. Is there any discussion on the matter? Councillor Van Passen.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I noticed on page 8 that we are required to do a safety study in 2019, and speeding may be one of the issues that comes out of that study, and I would suggest that we do the study first and then we go buy the toys, rather than buy the toys and then do the study.
That's a good point. Councillor Rabbits.
Thank you, Mayor Chop. Through the chair to council, I just wanted to comment how well the communication is presented. There's a lot of information contained in here with regards to the speeding signs. We even have it all the way down the nuts and bolts of some invoices if anyone else was interested in buying one of these pieces of equipment to reduce speed in their community. We've got all the information provided, including the vendor with which to obtain the equipment, and I just wanted to comment on the transparency here that's been demonstrated by our OPP. It's an incredible amount of detail. I want to say it's a DavTech that's providing this equipment, and the idea behind it is to not only monitor speed, but it's also to calm speeds down. When you see how fast you're traveling on a road and it's quantified in front of you in a number, you know, that's going to have an impact on your travel speed. And I think that this is a great idea, and I just wanted to comment on, again, the level of detail that's been provided in this particular communication item. I haven't seen this level of detail in any other communication brought forward to this council.
Thank you, Councillor Rabbits. Councillor Columbus.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It says that it should be the staff recommendation for the consideration of council. I'm going to ask probably the clerk. Should this be moved to our budget discussions next week? Is that where it should go, this expenditure item?
Through Madam Mayor.
Certainly, you could do that if you so desired. You could consider it during the budget deliberations. It's an option.
Or were you looking for approval of this expenditure today?
I think that I've drafted both motions for just to receive it for information and one to refer it to next week. So those were the two outcomes I foresaw.
When that comes up, I would be pleased to move it to next week's budget discussions, this expenditure for this police board request.
Councillor Martin?
Thank you, Mayor Chop. I actually had a few questions. The report speaks about fatalities and accidents in an effort to work to decrease those. And I was just hoping that someone would be here today to speak to whether or not these signs, if purchased, could go on provincial highways such as 24, 3, etc. So those were a couple concerns I had. If we were to go ahead with these signs, are they going to be used in the areas that are commonly directly related with fatal accidents? And additionally, I wondered if it was beneficial for, if this is a discussion for Councillor Huffman to also gain some intel on at a police services meeting, or if this type of information wouldn't happen there. So my apologies, I don't know about that, but just a thought. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Myself as well, actually, I had a number of questions. I know that, there's one of two ways to reduce traffic-related deaths and as a result of speeding. One is to slow the speed, the other is to change the road networks. Obviously, these signs, I think, have had much success in the studies that I've read about. However, I also heard a presentation today where they spoke, the health department spoke that we actually have more opioid-related deaths in Norfolk than traffic-related deaths, and $250,000 is a significant amount of money, and I'm just wondering if that is the most effective use of these funds. And so with that, I'm wondering if it might be possible to have somebody from the police department speak to this report during the budget deliberations, so we can just get a little bit more information.
Through you, we could extend the invitation and see if they're available to attend next week.
Would that be something everybody else would be interested in? I'm seeing head shaking, yes. Councillor Huffman, did you have?
Through you, Mayor. Yes, I think this is something that we definitely need some more information on. I was thinking of those statistics as well that were presented during that Board of Health presentation. Unfortunately, I do know that we have had a large number of fatalities in Norfolk County per se in the last several months, and it has been extremely tragic for many citizens. But I think in regards to something like this, just getting some definite statistics in terms of what those rates are, and I do think that, something about in terms of funds and the opioid crisis. So there's definitely information to be gathered. I do support the signs as a whole. I was in a community the other day driving, and I believe it was Brantford actually, they are very helpful. For me, I know that there may be some people that aren't. I was pretty much right on target. In fact, I was going too slow the one time, but they are good. So I think just gathering a little bit more information and not just kind of rubber stamping would be a great idea. Thank you.
I agree as well. One of the things I've read, and Councillor Martin touched on it, is a lot of these accidents, it would be interesting to know how many happen on, 3 and 24. You're not going to post these signs on 3 and 24. So seeing that breakdown of what's, rural, what's urban, and so on as we look at how many that we go about purchasing. So if there's nothing further, I have a motion moved by Councillor Columbus that the request of the Norfolk County Police Services Board for the purchase of 30 pole-mounted solar-powered speed watch signs over a 5-year period be considered during the 2019 operating levy budget deliberations for consideration. Do I have a seconder for that motion? Councillor Martin, all in favor? And that's carried. Okay, next on the agenda is the Matthias from the chair of the Grape Growers of Ontario regarding the support of 100% Ontario grape-grown grapes and wines. There is a staff recommendation that the letter of support be endorsed. discussions on the matter, and I see Councillor Martin's hand up.
Thank you, Mayor Chop. Since then, additional correspondence from Ontario South Coast Wineries and Growers Association has been emailed to us all and is on our desk here today. I look forward to personally throwing as much weight and support behind this as I can. We know the tourism industry here in Norfolk County is flourishing with, certainly with our grape growers, and we all love promoting and enhancing local products. So I would most definitely love to get behind and rally support for us to send a letter from Mayor Chop herself through to speak to this directly. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, with that, I have a motion moved by Councillor Rabbits and seconded by Councillor Columbus that Norfolk County support the position of the grape growers of Ontario in respect